This is part 2 to my 2026 free agent predictions, and I am very late to the party, so let's get into it as quickly as possible. Let's go. Straight up, I have no idea where Zach Gallen is going. He has had a pretty weird career overall. The past few years after his 2022 season where he placed 5th in Cy Young voting, his pitches and their run values have plummeted and skyrocketed in weird ways over the next 3 seasons. 2023, his breaking ball got worse. 2024, his breaking ball was amazing, but his fastball was bad. 2025, only his off speed was good. Really odd things are happening with his pitches. I truly think Gallen will take a shorter deal with opt-outs. If not, maybe even a prove-it 1-year deal. Bowden has the Orioles, Red Sox, Tigers, Astros, Padres, Giants, Braves, Mets, Cardinals, and Cubs. I think the Orioles would be a good fit for the team, as I don't think they want to spend money and are more comfortable signing Gallen to a shorter-term deal. Would Gallen feel comfortable trying to have a prove-it year in a completely different league, division, and coast? Probably not, so maybe not the best fit. I also kind of like the Tigers and Cubs here, as they both seem like teams that don't want to spend big and could enjoy shorter pitching contracts. Ultimately, I think I will go with the Giants. Just a comfort thing for Gallen. I think he would enjoy a pitcher-friendly Oracle Park, and the Giants would like having a high potential arm in the rotation with Webb and Ray. The second player coming over from the NPB, Munetaka Murakami, is being posted as a third baseman / first baseman, but I think he's pretty much accepted that he is a poor defender who is probably a first baseman or designated hitter. Bowden thinks his best fits are the Padres, Mets, Mariners, Diamondbacks, Guardians, or Red Sox. I don't think the Padres want to spend big on a risky player, as Murakami has some serious strikeout issues as well as issues with velo. He has immense power, but if you sign him long term, you are hoping he can tap into that power and cut down on the swing and miss, which will be hard against major league pitching. I think the Mets need to sign Alonso, and I think the Mariners need to sign Naylor, like they did. So I don't think Murakami is a good fit for either. Guardians won't spend, and Diamondbacks seem like they need pitching more than anything. I actually feel there is a sleeper team who kind of needs to take a chance on a guy like this. Give me the Reds. They only made the playoffs because the Mets collapsed, and I think they would rather make the way to October by their own actions. They already have very good pitching, and Great American Ballpark could help Murakami's hit tool, especially just coming into the league. I know that the geography of it all doesn't make sense. Why would a Japanese player want to go to Cincy? But I really don't see a fit for him on any West Coast team. So if he wants to play in the MLB, he's going to have to make some sacrifices. Plus, if the Reds want to make the playoffs with Hunter Green and Ellie, they need to add someone who may be risky but could have immense upside. Michael King had an injury-riddled season, although he did seem very good in the games he started in 2024 and 2025. He will probably get a shorter-term deal. Bowden has the Padres, Yankees, Orioles, Braves, Mets, Cubs, Angels, Astros, Tigers, and Red Sox. Although he is a New York guy, I think the Yankees are going to focus on Bellinger or Tucker this offseason, and I think the Mets are going to focus on getting one top-of-the-rotation arm like Dylan Cease, and letting the rookies have a go at major league hitters. I actually really like the Braves or Astros here. King will most likely get $25 million a year, or maybe a higher number with some opt-out. So I think the Braves, who have some injuries, and Astros, who are looking for some cheaper options, would like to get this guy. In the end, I will pick the Braves. I think they'd be very happy with even just 1 year of Michael King, allowing the injured players to make a return when they are ready, and not needing to rush anyone too much. Edwin Diaz opting out was expected, but was still a shock to me when it happened. Expected to get close to $100 million, Bowden thinks Diaz's best fits are Mets, Dodgers, Yankees, and Braves. I personally think the Yankees like Bednar as their closer and will most likely try to get a hitter and some supplementary bullpen pieces for Bednar, Duvall, and Bird, whom they acquired at the deadline. The Mets could re-sign Diaz, but I'm unsure if David Stearns is okay with signing reliever to such a high dollar amount. If you want to sign Diaz, you have to be willing to risk the money on a player who is only going to pitch 1 or 2 innings every close game and could get injured at any time. I see the Dodgers willing to do that more than the Braves, and I don't really think any team not listed would want Diaz more. Give me the Dodgers, and I'm not happy about it. Robert Suarez also opted out of his deal with the Padres. The 34-year-old is looking to get probably the biggest payday of his career. Bowden thinks he could be a fit for the Padres, Mets, Dodgers, Yankees, Braves, Red Sox, or Tigers. I think the entire reason AJ Preller traded for Mason Miller was because he believed that Suarez would opt out and they are unwilling to re-sign him this offseason. The Mets could go get him since Diaz opted out, but if they wanted to pay a pretty penny for a closer, I think everyone would rather see them get Diaz. I have the Dodgers getting Diaz and the Yankees keeping their bullpen similar to last year, so I think the Braves could be the best fit here. I don't think Suarez will get 4 years, and I really think the Braves need someone to lock that bullpen down. Diaz will be too expensive, and Suarez seems like a very good power arm that could hang around Atlanta for the next 3 years max. At the time of recording this, Josh Naylor has already signed a 5-year, $92.5 million contract with the Seattle Mariners. But lucky for me, I already said that I think he should sign with Seattle multiple times in my first video, because that was my prediction. I do think most people saw him being the best fit for Seattle, and because of that, I don't think my prediction is anything crazy. But I promise, I did have him as a Mariner. You gotta believe me. Shota and the Cubs did not want to continue their contract as they both declined options for the next few years. However, Imanaga accepted the qualifying offer that the Cubs gave him, to which the Cubs were extremely surprised by. If he decided to not accept the QO, I had Imanaga going to the Tigers, but maybe that's an idea for next year. Kazuma Okamoto is said to be a more polished hitter than Munetaka Murakami and an okay defender. They have him as a third baseman, first baseman, and corner outfielder. Bowden has the Mariners, Mets, Diamondbacks, Red Sox, and Guardians. I like him on the Mets here. I think Bowden put the Mets because he believes that if Alonso is no longer a Met, Okamoto can play first. But I really think Okamoto can most likely DH or play a corner outfield spot for the Mets. Maybe move Soto to DH and look for a defense first center fielder to pair with Nimmo and Okamoto. Again, I think the Mariners get Naylor, which they did. Diamondbacks don't spend. Red Sox have 2 first basemen already, and Guardians are allergic to giving out money. Mets are the only team here that have endless pockets. Bowden has the Mariners, Red Sox, Tigers, Phillies, and Angels as the best fits for Eugenio Suarez. Bowden also expects Suarez to get a shorter term deal with a higher amount of money per year. I kind of like the Tigers here. I've mentioned how if they want to spend, they should spend on Tarek Skubal. However, I think they would be okay committing less overall money, especially with Javi Baez coming off the books next year. Suarez could play third or DH for the club, and even though he is extremely streaky, 49 home runs is extremely valuable regardless. If they give him less money the first year and then ramp up the salary for the last 2, I think the financials work out as well. Merrill Kelly had one of the best years in his career in 2025. Bowden has him getting a 2-year deal with the Diamondbacks, Rangers, Orioles, and Mets as the best fits. I like the fit for the Mets for the same reason I think Dylan Cease will sign with the Mets. A veteran who can give you a good year or two and teach the young guys the ins and outs of starting pitching. However, since I have Cease going to the Mets, I don't have Kelly joining him. I think Merrill will join back with the team he was originally with, the Diamondbacks. He will take less money than many other free agent starters, and the Diamondbacks need cheap pitching options. It just feels right. Gleyber Torres has also accepted a qualifying offer from the Tigers, which I don't think they are very mad about. If he had declined the QO, I had him going back to the Tigers because I really believed he was a good fit for them. Let's see if they decide to try and work out an extension because I think Gleyber fits the needs of the team. Jorge Polanco had a very good year and was extremely valuable to the Seattle Mariners and their run in the postseason. I know I have a lot of players going back to their teams, but I don't even care what Jim Bowden says. I think it would be devastating to the Mariners if they let Polo walk. He can be a mentor to the young prospects coming up. If their offseason consists of Naylor, Polanco, and supplementary pieces, I think that's a successful offseason. JT Realmuto was once seen as the best catcher in the league on both sides of the ball. Unfortunately, Realmuto has fallen from grace, but he is still a very solid catcher who helped lead his pitching staff to elite pitching years overall. Bowden has the Phillies and Padres as his best fits, and I can't argue with the Phillies. I really believe the Phillies offseason will consist of bringing both Schwarber and JT back. I understand why the Padres might need Realmuto, but they just traded for Freddie Fermin, and I think he will be a very solid catcher for them in the years to come. I know it is getting repetitive with me saying all these free agents will just re-sign, but I don't see too much movement happening in free agency this offseason. At least not with the bigger free agents. As a shock to many, Trent Grisham also accepted the qualifying offer, and I saw many Yankees fans be enraged by this. Funny enough, I had Grisham rounding out the Mets outfield because I thought the Yankees would bring back Bellinger for center field and give Jason Dominguez some starting playing time. But I guess we will have to see how they manage their outfield and who they sign in the offseason. Thank you all for watching until the end. I apologize for being so late on this video, but life gets busy. Hopefully I at least get some of them right. If you have not already, please consider subscribing and follow me on Instagram at on_thebumpbaseball. Have a good day.